everyone. My name is Helena Fernandes. I'm Manager for Events and Services at the British-Portuguese Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to give a warm welcome to our speakers for today. That's Olga Duarte, CEO of Fortrevo, Renato Silva, PMO and IT Financial Services Manager at Mercedes-Benz, André Amaral, Managing Director of High Interactive, and Simon Chester, Director of User Experience at Colliers. Today's webinar is proudly hosted by the BPCC, and it will showcase cutting-edge digital expertise from some of Portugal's most innovative companies. Our goal is to help decision makers find the right partners to leverage their business through digital transformation. Some of you may know, Portugal has now become a highly sought-after destination for nearshoring IT services, with Lisbon emerging as a hub for talented IT professionals. And today's event aims to highlight how low-code is a proven approach to building software faster, with less complexity and more agility. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, feel free to add them to the Q&A, and these will be answered after the presentations. But without any further delay, I shall leave you with our first speaker, which is Olga Duarte, CEO of Fortrevo. And Olga will give valuable insights on how you can significantly improve operational productivity. Olga, over to you.
Thank you so much, Helena. Thank you so much for the introduction. So I wanted to start by asking if you ever chose a platform, a product, and everything looks like it goes flawless until it doesn't. So for us as a brand, that's the moment, the key moment we need to be there for our customers. So that's the moment we really can excel and show how we can work. So to talk a little bit about our company, Fortrevo is a company dedicated to build solutions tailored to the needs of our customers. So we start by solving complex business problems with smart and scalable technology. So that's our main goal. We do cross-platform. Today we are here talking a lot about low code and out systems. You will see the value of this platform, but we can do cross-platform, cross-industry, and we want to deliver really with expertise, quality, and partnership. And speaking of partnership, let me introduce our next speaker. Elena already told you a little bit about him. Is someone that led the way from strategy to execution. It's Renato Silva, PMO and IT Financial Services at Mercedes-Benz, who will provide in first-hand how Mercedes quickly and easily improve and handle customer complaints. So now I can stop sharing and over to you, Renato.
And now I'll share my screen. So first of all, thanks everyone, especially Olga and Elena for the invitation to be here and talk a little bit of our digitalization process. Okay, during COVID, as most of the companies, we need to adapt, and adapting is transform digitally for something that we are not prepared in the past. So just to share an example, colleagues that work with us that are not from the company, they didn't have a VPN access, and now we face the world with all this communication. So in terms of security, in terms of time of delivery, we need to think about all of that. So I'm talking about, I choose a process, okay, a small process, but a lot of the digitalization transformation that we are having in here was already done together with Fortrevo. So in the last 6 years, Fortrevo is our partner for OutSystems development, and not only OutSystems, let me say that. And they help us a lot in all of that. So they have very good tech leads that support us on since the requirement that comes from our customers until in the end putting it all working and iteration and making things progress. It's not only delivering a project, it's to follow the project and adapt on the customer need. So 6 years ago we start our journey. We already have some other companies helping us in the past, but I'm very proud to say that Fortrevo is the longest one, and it's working for us. It's already a partnership. We don't consider them as a consulting company. It's already a partnership, and we are very happy to have them on board. Talking a little bit about this process that we're talking about. It's a complaints process. Okay, so as you know, we are a financial service company. We have financial service company, and we need, according to the Bank of Portugal rules, we need to take the complaints process with some specific SLAs and to answer in a specific way. Let me tell you that all of you know. So in 2020, the COVID came. Okay, and yeah, it was a mess. So at that moment, we have a manual process. Okay, so every time people call us via phone or send us an email, and we have 3 FTs in the back just to follow everything, track it in an Excel. Okay, so mail and Excel were the basis of this, and of course, this was not. It was not practical. We've been delaying this process a lot because complaints is not the exact core that we are thinking about in the beginning, but it was really a good challenge for our partner Fortrevo, and in this case they solved it, and you'll see it very fast. That will bring us a lot of reduction, not only in FTE, in process and fulfilling the SLAs. When I talk about complaints, fortunately, we don't have so many complaints in financial services. But if we have some problem, for instance, that the car doesn't start, some some customers complain, and then we need to redirect to the brand partner and some other parts. So, but we take it all. So all start with us. Um, the solution that we found, okay, so we already have a customer portal developed by Fortrevo with us, okay, so that has a big, it is developed 100% in OutSystems, okay. Just to let you know, OutSystems is not only for you that are not so aware of OutSystems, I believe the majority of you are, but OutSystems is not only a front-end tool, okay, it's much more. Let me share with you that our credit analysis scoring, it's made in OutSystems, okay, just to let you know the capabilities of it. So, but we already have a customer portal with a front end for the customer, and we also have an internal portal that we call it the extension of the customer portal that allows much more operational handling. Okay, and one of that we decided to create the complaints portal directly in there. So all the colleagues in here uses it, all the colleagues that are associated with complaints, but nevertheless, in a single screen, they can see everything that happens. This is connected via, you see in there in step 3, the middleware that we have in OutSystems also, that connects to our CMS and other systems via API, and then very quickly, whenever the colleagues from the first line are receiving or an email or even a call from a customer, they can, at that moment, with the contract number, they can see everything that's related. And in there, they can automatically process the complaint also. They don't need to read emails, so we have a service that picks automatically our mailbox and bring that information to our portal and automatically associate by the NIF or by the contract number all the information that we have from that customer. And this is very important for us because we reduce a lot, not only in terms of, and I believe I have it in the next slide. Yeah, exactly. So in terms of FTEs, initially we have 3 people, as you saw it. Now we have 1.2 in the end because the one is in there always, but not all the time. And with only 1.5 developers from Fortrevo, and let me tell you that the full-time one was a trainee, okay, just to show you how low code can be quickly making some juice for the companies, okay. And the tech lead, they in 6 weeks they deliver already the final solution. Of course, as we do it here in Mercedes, we don't want to deliver and then forget it. No, every time, every week, we check the progress. We heard what customers said in terms of improvement. Also, because after this process ends for the customer, they receive an email asking for some feedback, and we try to be very agile to implement that feedback in our solution. So overall, this is just a small process. Okay, guys, we have more than 40, as I mentioned, during these years, but it's a small one that we used and just showcasing in here. I'm very happy if you have any questions to answer. As you can see in here, strategic partnerships make transformation smoother, and we really believe that. It's not only because it is Fortrevo. As I mentioned, in the past we have some other consultancy companies, but it's very important that we, in our case, my team is composed by my FTs plus all FTE, so we work together very good, and this transformation wouldn't be so smoother as it was if we didn't have this support. So very happy to put in here some links if you want to reach us and know a little bit more about the digital transformation of Mercedes. Contact me or Olga, and we are really happy to tell you how it was the struggle for us. And thank you.
Thank you, Renato. That was really good. Great images, by the way. And thank you for sharing why building the complaints solution on OutSystem was the obvious way forward. Now joining us is Andrea Amaral, the Managing Director of High Interactive. Andrea will focus on why the solutions with OutSystems create the best digital experience. Andrea, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Elena. And thank you also for the invitation. Congratulations to Renata and Olga from Fontrevo. It was a great use case. Let me talk a little bit about our company, High Interactive. We help our customers to build customized applications that solve real business problems. Because we believe every application should light up every user lives, we are experts on design applications with great user experience. So our model is based on design systems concept to bring development costs down, reduce time to market, and upgrade the application's user experience level. So in a short way, I think we can say that we deliver application with amazing user experience. We try to do that by helping our customers on their legacy challenge, on building application with complex interface challenge, to bringing consistency and scale to development, productizing projects into digital products, and of course, when they have a lack of knowledge or expertise in an augmentation way. So who are our customers? Real estate, retail, banking, insurance, industry, health. But as you can see, what we do is we are more focused on helping customers that wants to have a lower time to market. They have businesses blocked by legacy systems. They have development costs that they want to decrease. And of course, when they have user experience challenge with integration with core systems. So I will have the help of Simon Chester, our friend Simon Chester, Director of UX of Colliers. He's a great fan and advocate of user experience in Colliers digital transformation and application development. Simon is always training and doing certifications like communication, design, inclusivity, digital transformation. He's a great person. And Simon, thank you for having you here. Without further delay, how are you?
Well, thank you so much for that lovely introduction, and good morning, good afternoon, everybody from West Coast of North America. Yeah, we've been really lucky to work with Andre and his company on design system. We originally got involved with them when we started to look through how could we bring our Colliers brand into the OutSystems platform, and how could we use a design system to really accelerate our use of OutSystems and help with the innovation at the edge. I think we were originally going to talk about the first project we did on OutSystems, which everybody tells you to start small. We decided to go big. We had a very large enterprise application that needed replacing. We did some market scans, discovered that there really wasn't anything in market that was going to replace something of this scale. So we took the rather brave decision of buying OutSystems and building it ourselves. I'm not sure I would advise anybody to start there. I think starting small would probably be, on reflection, a better beginning, but probably go home, right? So the project we worked on is a deal booking system within real estate. Once deals are finished, of course, we need to capture a lot of data around the deal. And we have a broad mix of user types who interact with this process. So it's a mix of operations, sales, and finance. And we needed to create something that was going to support all of those groups, and we needed to get it to market rather fast. And so OutSystems was a good choice to get that up and running and bring some capability in there very quickly. The fun part about it, of course, is that because it's rapid, it changes the dynamic about the way you start to envisage a large application. And traditionally, of course, if you're going to go to build something of that scale, there's a huge amount of upfront planning that's required to design out everything and figure out how you're going to lay it out. And that can lead to a certain level of frustration within the business that things take a very long time before they get to market. You have to get all of the answers absolutely right before you begin. Otherwise, you're going to run into some real problems later on down the line. But when you flip the switch a little bit and you move into a low code platform, you can change the model a little bit to be a bit more try it and see. Give something a go, see how it lands, play with it a little bit, and refine it a little bit faster, which I think has been incredibly successful for us on that application. Sorry, I've lost my questions there. Andre, I think you had some additional questions you were going to talk about.
Yeah, I think, Simon, could be interesting, for example, if you tell us a little bit what was the challenge, the first challenge that OutSystems as a low code was for you the right solution to solve, and starting by using this low code platform.
Yeah, I think that this particular application, because it serves so many different user types, became a very complex beast to bring happiness to all of the users. And so the way that was approached was to build out a core of the application and then start to test with users very early on. And because of the flexible nature and because it was quick to change things on the front end and use a design system to bring consistency, we were able to put in front of the users, get that feedback in live software as opposed to in mock-ups or in documentation, and get them in there almost immediately to start playing and give us meaningful feedback. That led to a higher level of adoption, I think, than we would have seen if we had gone with a more traditional route.
Yeah, one of the things that when we spoke for the first time was that the need that you have to reduce the time to market. Well, compare, of course, traditional development. Can you tell us a little bit how was the difference between using OutSystems and traditional code? I think that was the main topic that you also related with consistency, and especially in a company like Colliers, where everything that is related to brand it's a vital issue for you.
Yeah, so because we're a global company and we have people working all over the planet with customers all over the planet, brand and having a consistency to that brand is incredibly important. But we're also a very enterprising company, and we like to enable innovation at the edge as much as possible. But to keep that innovation at the edge as well as the brand consistency can sometimes be a bit of a trade-off and a bit of a challenge. Building out a design system on a low-code platform meant that, from a compliance point of view and making sure that we were delivering on that brand image, but still supporting people's ability to try things and see if it brought value to the organization. It was a really good balance. I mean, when you think if you're trying to build things in a more traditional way and you don't have a brand system and you don't have a design system, then often there's a lot of checks and balances to make sure that what's produced will fill all of the requirements on the brand. But the design system kind of takes care of that for us. So as long as we keep people using that system, then we can have comfort that what's produced is going to have that high quality.
Okay, great. So in terms of using your development plan, using OutSystems, also with a design system, how that help you to enhance the user experience levels and at the same way keep the scalability through all over the world when you have different partners, different geographies in Collier's development environment?
Mm-hmm. I think traditionally when you have multiple partners working on different pieces in different time zones and for different organizational units, it becomes really difficult to chase down all of the great ideas that everybody has and to try and keep it as a consistent experience. I always think of software, particularly software in a global environment, as a little bit like an illusion. You know, the idea is to make it feel the same so that you feel like you're in the same place the whole time, despite multiple organizations building out pieces of the puzzle. So having that design system and having a high performing, easy platform to work on means that everything everybody builds fits within that ecosystem, and then you can start to share it more effectively.
Okay, Simon. Just one more question. For you and for Colliers, in your opinion, what was the most significant business or user outcome since you started using this technology?
I think for us, the really important part is to enable that innovation at the edge. A lot of the time we spend thinking about how can we make the business better, how can we bring better tools to people, but honestly, it's the business who know the answer to the question, not the technologists. So everything we can do to empower the business and support them to get their ideas into their own hands as fast as possible drives towards that goal. And then having something where it's a lower barrier to entry, the cost is less, the simplicity of putting things together is higher. That just increases the amount of opportunity we have to take some of those cool ideas and turn them into something and put them into market and see if they function and see if they make a difference.
Okay, thanks, Simon.
Okay. Thank you, Andre and Simon, for illustrating how using low code in app systems brought consistency to your applications and also removed the need for extensive design. It was great to hear. Now, I'd like to ask a couple of questions. Andre, specifically, is there any limitation on using a low-code platform like OutSystems in a customer-facing application?
Well, Elena, that's a great question. I think OutSystems has a lot of advantage, and one of them is being a low code. It allows to any business adapt to any specific issue or demanding that the business is requiring. So answering to your question, no, there are no limitations on using OutSystems in a customer face application. With the good part that OutSystems is an amazing integrator, so your application can easily be integrated in the development environment, and of course, having an amazing experience and helping the business on differentiating against other competitors. So I think OutSystems is a great decision in every situation. Internal applications, customer face, or even core systems. It's amazing because the low code can help us to do any specific requirement that the business is asking to rise up the level.
It's good to hear, Andre. And Simon, just a quick question. From a strategic point of view, what has been the biggest impact to your organization since you adopted low-code OutSystems?
I think the really big point here is that the speed at which you can bring an idea to market is the winner of a low code platform. It allows you to play with ideas really fast and not have that cost trade-off that you would get if you were to sit down and start to build something out in a traditional development environment. I think it really drives that ability to play with concepts and see if there is business value in the idea.
Great to hear, Simon. Quick to market is always a good option. Olga, how do you deal with the company's legacy systems?
That's actually, by the way, I could talk about that for hours, but I will try to make it very simple. Usually what we do is making like an assessment with the customer, with the business people. Like Simon was saying, the business are the people that are there. So we really want to understand the business, understand what those legacy systems are and what the company wants to do with it. So we see a lot, for example, two main scenarios. The first is that your legacy system is your core system. We see that a lot in the banking area, for example, and we don't want to disconnect that for you. We want to take advantage, we want to reuse, we want to build a layer on top, like you saw in Renato's slides. You want to build a middleware where you can, on top of that, be innovative, launch your mobile apps, do your amazing with high interactive, do your amazing front ends, but really keep your core systems that are stable, that are there, that work. Another scenario that we see a lot, it's different. You have multiple legacy systems. So everywhere you have like little applications that you built through the years, and they maybe they work and maybe they have their value, so we don't want to disconnect those if the company really uses and takes value. So what we want to do is bring out system, in this case as an integrator, because it's really an amazing platform to integrate with all systems and have again a centralized way of then building on top, being innovative. And this you see a lot on food industry and other industries that I could name, but I want to keep it very short. So bottom line,
No,
we need to check case by case, but it's always a work that is done together.
it's great to
Thank
hear.
you for the question, Elena.
Thanks, Olga. It's good to know. And one quick question for Knut. What advice would you give someone for starting their first low-code project?
Oh, let me think about our first low-code project. No, but in the end, it's like all the projects, you need to understand your requirements. It's very important, okay? And as Olga mentioned, we need to really understand if the low-code will be the best solution for this. I can say that it's a lot in our case, but then we have still some RPA tools and this type of things because depending on the legacy system that we have, we cannot adapt everything to low-code. Then you choose the platform. So if it is a low-code one, and let's provide that example, let's keep it. In our case, different than Simon, we started small, okay? We started with a small application, and then we really go to the market faster. So our customers see, could be internal customers or end customers, but they see very quickly what is that. And this is one very good thing that in the end low-code bring to us, is the agility and the availability to test quicker. In the past, we can make projects like 6 months, and then the outcome was not the expected one. With low code, with iterations of 1, 2, 3 weeks, we can already provide something. And this is the real benefit of low code, is to be very quick and time to market efficient. That big companies like ours, a corporate company, appreciate a lot. Then never forget, and this is my recommendation, to collect feedback for the customers and evolve on that. Never do a project and then forget it, because the project will not be the ones that the customers are waiting. So we need to always try to innovate, digitalize in some way, or to improve the customer experience. So that will be my recommendation if someone starts a low-code project, to have all of these 4 or 5 steps in mind.
Good, Knut. That's great advice. Thank you, everyone, for your great presentations and for sharing your insights on how low-code has helped both Mercedes-Benz and Colliers to achieve the results they intended. It's been a pleasure, everyone, hosting this webinar, and we sincerely hope that you found it useful. And we will share a link to this recording by email, and we'll also share the contact details for both Olga and Andrea. So if you've got any further questions, any specifics you'd like to clarify, feel free to contact them. Thank you again, everyone, and see